What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic day. Training camp is in the air, baby. Actually, out and practicing today, so very excited for that. I will have a live video later. I'm going to try to put this out around noon. Going to give you guys a little look at the positional breakdown. We're going to look at how this team has changed, what we've got going into training camp, and well, maybe you think we need some changes, whatever is on your mind. I'd love to hear from you, though. We're going to jump right into this. Got some valuable information, some news for you. So we're going to take a look at that. And, I think that obviously there is some news that a lot of people, are very concerned about. To me, look, this is just something that happens. It's part of the game. So let's just start with that bad news, and that being Jonathan Greener being placed on the PUP list. So he suffered a pec strain during, lifting weights. So that's unfortunate, but it doesn't seem like it's anything long term. And if you heard Howie and Nick or anybody talking about it, they had mentioned not a long term injury. So nothing to worry about. Be ready for the season. Just being precautious here. But of course, you're going to see the media fans. They've been waiting for their negative moment to whine and freak out. Let them, dude. Who cares? It happens every year. That's what happens to casual fans. They just get gripped up very easily. Unfortunate. But we did get some good news yesterday, and that was locking up the best DT in the game with the biggest contract for a DT in the game. So something we mentioned, we talked about 5 months ago, what this would do, save a little bit of cap space this year, next year. Obviously going to add those void years, spread that cap out. You know how he does. So great news there. How he continues to stay wheeling and dealing. And, a lot of people focused on this offseason, the players we lost. And I understand that. And some of these guys are still free agents. Some of them, have signed elsewhere. And look, man, a lot of things, moving pieces during the season, during the offseason, you're always going to have that. But I do my best to keep you up to date with all of it. You can see, there's an influx of offensive guys, AJ Dillon, Van Sumeren, Dotson, guys I know people liked, but not really a big impact here. Dotson I like, but I think, he wanted a bigger role. That's fine. And then you go to the other side, Jalen Phillips, he got priced out. Uche, Ojulari, just depth pieces. Dean, Blankenship, they were going to get paid, and they did. Sidney Brown never became anything other than a special teamer. So, we got something for him, and I'm really excited for, what we did add. And if you missed it, go check out the show. I ranked every single edition so far this offseason, all 43 of them. So go check that out. Lots to talk about, and I have my favorites there. And, these guys, we talked a lot of them, pre-draft, pre-free agency. So happy to see them here. And, speaking of the draft, we have a lot of ammo here. So if the Eagles want to continue to add, they can do that. Remember, 2 first-round picks in 2028. And you can see 2 fifths, 2 sevenths, no third next year, but lots of ammo. Howie will always be wheeling and dealing. And after that extension for Jalen Carter, we actually have 26.5 mil. So that's my estimation here. We'll see what the actual numbers look like once they come out. But I'm telling you, we got money. We want to make moves. We can. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what this roster looks like. Now, as we go through this, if you see a position where you think, I would like to add to that, or you have a specific player in mind, I'd love to hear from you. But let's start in the trenches here on offense. And let's go ahead with Sean Mannion's new offense. And I'm very excited to see this West Coast offense. I think, we talked about it a lot more, balanced, the run attack, the passing, and, not so predictable. West Coast offense with a lot more emotion, a lot of pre-snap stuff that, I think we've been lacking. And, just more schemes, just more getting guys open. And I think that, it's going to be really exciting, but it's going to be a lot easier for the offensive linemen too. So when you're one-dimensional, these guys are getting their asses beat, and we don't want to see that. And we've got one of the best lines in the game, so let's get them healthy. And you can see, Mailata, Johnson, Dickerson, Steen, Juergens, all back here. But we've added a lot. Brought back Fred Johnson, drafted Markel Bell to possibly be the future. You got Ojoku added. So you added to this position. You lost Felix Fualu, the international player last year. Big deal. So adding to it, hoping to get better, and it all begins in the trenches, so I'm excited there. And then at guard, you've got Lampkin that can compete with Steen. You've got Jordan, Michael Morris, even Jaden Roberts is here. So a lot of competition, and some of these guys are obviously versatile too with the centers and tackles, so multiple guys playing multiple positions. But you only lost the veteran Matt Pryor, And I think adding Jordan and Morris and Roberts and bringing back Colin Pierce, all good moves. So you can see at the bottom what these all mean. The colors, the green is just somebody that's new to the team. Silver got themselves a new deal, whether that's reserve future, extension, or re-signing. Just try to make it easy there. And then blue will be the rookies here. So at center, you got Kendall. You brought in Majors, Toth, who can play every position. I'll miss him. I'm a fan of his game, but I like Kendall. I like his competition with Jurgens there, and Lampkin can dabble there too. So very excited to see what happens with the offensive line here, but you've got competition, and I feel excited if we can stay healthy. Now, at the quarterback position, we all know QB1 Jalen Hurts. Let's effing go. And then you've got Tanner McKee backing him up, possibly. Andy Dalton is currently getting reps at QB2. So there is a battle for that second spot, and maybe one of these guys can get some trade value. Obviously, Tanner McKee more so than Andy Dalton. But Cole Payton was brought in, one of my top fits before the draft. A lot of people talk about him being a weapon. Hey, you never know, man. Let's give him some development, see what he can do, but that's for the future. We can see if he makes this roster, but McCord didn't last year, and, well, he had Sam Howell brought in. So we've got some competition. We'll see how this quarterback room plays out. Possibly keep 3, maybe even just 2, but this team usually likes to keep 3. So we'll see. But Jalen Hurts, QB1, excited to see what he does in this offense. You hear a lot of the slander, and, well, I just laugh it off because they're in for a rude awakening. But that's going to be because we're probably going to run the ball a lot more efficiently. And I really look forward to that. So you got Tank here. I've seen a lot of the Eagles fans turning on him, content creators. That's fine. I promise you. And I saw ESPN saying these guys aren't even a top 10 1-2 punch. That's hilarious. I wish they would get people that actually watch football because, wow, another group that's in for a rude awakening here. Barkley, big speed, going to tear it up. But who wants to be that 3? Can Shipley continue to develop? You brought in Pierce, Mitchell, and a guy like Carson Steele who can dabble at fullback, can play return man. So having that versatility, that's nice. Damian Pierce, a bruiser. Mitchell, one of those one-cut type guys. So I'm excited to see this room. I like the competition here. Probably keep 3, maybe 4 if you can provide some other value. But Dylan and Van Sumeren will walk. So probably looking to, have some competition, but I don't know that you need to change much. I like Bigsby and Shipley as Barkley's backups. But let me know how you feel about these positions so far. And, well, one of the really important ones is wide receiver. And we know we lost A.J. Brown. Well, we got rid of him. Jahan Dotson left, and then Terrace Marshall, practice squad guy for us last year. So lost a few, but boy, did we add. So we got my top guy in the draft, Mekhi Lemon, the top receiver in this draft. Still can't believe it. And then you add Marquise Brown, Dontavian Wicks, Elijah Moore, Torrey, Ezukama, all these free agents. And then you bring back Gray and Watkins from the practice squad. You have Wilson returning from injury. Cooper and Covey will be back. So lots of competition here at the wide receiver spot. So 5, maybe 6 of these guys will make it. I'm really excited to see this competition. And I understand A.J. Brown, one of the best receivers in the game, but getting older, getting very whiny, injury prone. So it's a smart move to make before it gets bad. You got a first rounder and a 5th for him. So very excited. Devontae Smith as wide receiver 1. You know how I feel about him. Obviously, my guy years ago, and still can't believe we drafted him. So let's effing go. But we got Dallas Goedert back, which will be huge in the pass game. So I think, drafting Eli Stowers is something people sleep on, a big body guy that can kind of fill that A.J. Brown role. He can move all around. He's not just a tight end. Talk about that F-type tight end that can move all over. Not so much in line. Got to continue to improve on his blocking, but I think people are sleeping on him. Now, we did add Johnny Munt, a blocking tight end. Stone Smart. You brought back Calcaterra for some reason. E.J. Jenkins, Cameron Latu, who can play a little fullback. And then my darling gem, you remember him from the pre-draft shows, Daquan Wright, one of my top fits for the Eagles. I think this kid is a gem, a steal. Cannot wait to see what he is able to do. Hopefully able to show something and not plucked off of, waivers there. Hopefully he can make the team somehow, but lots of competition here. So Granson's gone, but you added a lot. So that's the offense. That's what's going on for Sean Mannion, Nick Sirianni, and this Eagles O. So let me know how you feel. Would you add anywhere? Do you feel comfortable? Who do you think is going to have a breakout season? Whatever's on your mind, love to hear you. Tell me about that offense. Now, let's talk about this defense. Vic Fangio coming back another year. Who knows how many we have left, but you got Clint Hurt. You got a lot of great guys in this room, hopefully that don't leave. But I think that Vic Fangio has finally silenced the haters over the years. I've done my best over the years to teach people how his defense works. Then we finally got him himself. So don't have to teach anymore. You can see it right in front of you. But it's been phenomenal. And don't care what the naysayers say. I love this defense. And, again, begins in the trenches. So let's go ahead and pay our best guy in the trenches, Jalen Carter. And you got Jordan Davis here too. Also, and the Eagles have been given, the fifth-year options to Carter and Nolan Smith. Davis getting a new deal, Carter getting one. Jomo, we talk about, is one of those with Milton Williams, pay him before he gets it. But dude could get paid next year, but that's why you continue to develop young guys. You've got people like Byron Young and Ty Robinson back. We'll see if Robinson could step up after being a draft pick last year. A lot of people say he's a bust, but these kids need time to develop. So we'll see what he's got this year. But Gabe Hall, Taquan Graham brought back. And then you have Uwar Bernard out of Nigeria, which people are very excited about. And then Zion Wilson, who I am also very excited about. Now, nobody left. So we just added to this room and refined it. And I really think the competition is going to be fun. Watching Bernard hopefully make this roster. Got some time to go, but I'm very excited about it. So looking at this interior D-line, I think one of the best, if not the best in the NFL. And then on the edge, just saw the news about Greenard. That's unfortunate, but you've got Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt still. And we talked about Ebiketie. We talked about Epinesa. And look, Keyshawn James Newby, Joshua Wayroo, Jose Ramirez. You've added a lot to this room. Sure, you lost Phillips, Uche, Ojulari, Okoronkwo, Graham, and then Tryon Shoyinka retired. So wild. But you heard me talk about James Newby before the draft, top pick for the Eagles. Joshua Wayroo, I think, is an international player going under the radar. Nolan Smith. And then obviously Jalen Hunt being one of my pre-draft fits. You guys remember how much I couldn't believe no one knew who he was. Very excited for people to learn and continue to learn while you see the depth that we've added. Greenard, Ebiketie, and Epinesa backing up Smith and Hunt is awesome. If James Newby or Wayroo, somebody wants to push to make, that sixth guy, love to see it. But love that there's competition here. So can't wait to see the battles here. Then at linebacker, you got Bond and Campbell, and not much change other than adding Deontay Lawson, which I'm very excited about. I think another undrafted gem here. And, Jihad Campbell's a little banged up here. Trotter Jr. has been shining, though, and I know they like Smile London. They really liked Chance Campbell on the practice squad last year. So actual real good competition between Trotter, Munden, Campbell, and Lawson. Who wants to step in while Campbell's gone? Obviously, Dean is gone, so he can't do that. We had Chandler Martin here. Then he was visiting again the other day. He's going to be one of those guys off and on the practice squad, had some injury stuff. Isaiah King, same thing, signed, let go. He's an undrafted rookie. So regardless, you've got guys here and you've got competition. Then at the cornerback spot, look, man, best in the NFL right here. Mitch, Coop, Tariq, oh my God. And then beyond that, who wants to be the depth? And you've got a veteran who can help these guys, off the field, on the field, Jonathan Jones. You got Jacorian Bennett, who banged up, but if he can get, where he was with the Raiders for a year, maybe Vic finds something. Mac McWilliams, he has talent. Kaylee Ringo hasn't shown anything. Maybe this is his last chance, so maybe he can do something. But Ambry Thomas, Tariq Castro Fields brought back. And then Sean Wade was added, former Ohio State kid. Now, no more Adoree Jackson or Perry Nickerson. Those are guys that Vic Fangio will probably look to add if he needed a veteran. But look at that room. I don't think you need those old heads right now. You've got a lot of good competition. I'm excited. Jonathan Jones sticking around for camp. Probably not make the team, but if he does, hell yeah, maybe he dabbles in safety a little. But he is somebody that just I like his career, and I just think he'd be able to help some of these young guys. So other than that, the starters got me pumped. I can't wait to see the competition at depth. Now, the safety position. This is a big question mark. And, you lost Reed Blankenship. You traded Sidney Brown. Brandon Johnson went to the Seahawks, one of those versatile D-backs. But Makuba coming back, hopefully fully healthy. And then you've got Marcus Epps coming back as well. Now, Michael Carter II is somebody that people keep continuously sleeping on. I've seen some of the media finally figuring it out, but they're going to, use him at safety as well. So he's going to get competition for that starting spot. Cole Wisniewski was drafted. You brought in JT Gray, more of a special teams ace, but can help you in a pickle if need be. Andre Sam was brought back, the reserve future signing. And then you added some undrafted kids, Kashikin, Pulley, and Tucker Large, who was waived with an injury designation. When they're not claimed, they then go on to IR. So he's technically on the Eagles. He just will miss this season. But again, if you want breakdowns of these players, you want to hear me talking about all of this stuff, go check out those top editions. Each player that's ever been added has their own video as well. So if you're a true sicko and you want to know everything about the Eagles, check out my page and you will see it all. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the defense, the competition that's going on, what you think Vic will do at certain positions. Maybe you would add another edge guy. I know a lot of you have talked about Max Crosby. Some of you talked about safety Jesse Bates, position, people are still concerned, and I totally get that. So let me know your thoughts on that defense and how you would go. But we don't ever leave out the special teams in these parts. So Michael Clay continues to do a great job with this special teams. We're not going to talk so much about the returners right now because we're kind of talking about competition. So you can go check out those other shows, as I mentioned. A lot of great stuff. And I will show you the depth chart here in a second, which will give you an idea of, what's going on at certain positions. But right now, we did not bring in another kicker. And a lot of people have talked about this with Jake Elliott, obviously having his struggles and driving people insane. So, look, man, I like Jake Elliott. And I think, maybe it was the long snapper. And I don't want to just place, the blame on somebody, but I'm just saying maybe he was having issues with Cal Adamitis. He didn't get brought back. Charlie Hewlett didn't get brought back. So these are things that, and Adamitis already went to another team before this. That's why you don't see him right here. Like, I'm not going to have him obviously placed on the free agent loss list. But anyways, anybody will tell you, obviously, long snapper is a hard position to gauge. So Rocco Underwood, I'm just hoping the best. Maybe he's the right guy for Jake Elliott, the right guy for Braden Mann, because Braden Mann's been phenomenal. So it's not affecting him. But yeah, you would want to hit the panic button if he continued to struggle this year. But hoping he gets back to what's going on, because that happened a couple of years ago too. But I like Jake Elliott a lot, man. I'm a big fan. He's really helped us with a lot, won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, love you, Jake, and let's get back to business. But no competition for these guys, just kind of running it back. And if, God forbid anything's going on, I'm sure they can add somebody off the street, but don't necessarily want to have to be doing that. But hey, maybe you find yourself a Jake Elliott or a Braden Mann. So, yeah. But that's the positional breakdowns. But let me show you this depth chart real quick. And this is color coded as well. So the orange are the undrafted guys. Blue, where the draft picks, green are either a free agent or trade. Yellow were the reserve future signings. And then the silver are the guys that were re-signed or got new deals. But you see the offense there. And we kind of talked about it. Maybe, somebody pushes themselves as a fullback. So Cameron Latou or Carson Steele, maybe they get put in that way. A lot of competition, though, all over the place. And I've talked about it. I like Marquise Brown a lot. I know a lot of people talk about Dontavian Wicks. I just haven't changed it because until I see it, I'm going to keep Marquise Brown there. But I think they'll all get theirs. Brown, Wicks, Lemon, Wilson, Cooper are all going to have some good competition. See who can make this team. Elijah Moore is here. So very excited to see what goes down. You see a lot of guys at tight end there. Holy hell. And a lot of offensive linemen. So lots of competition. Let me know how you feel about the offense. And let me know how you feel about this defense because, I feel, man, the edge room, very excited about the interior D-line. I think the linebackers, when Campbell is healthy, this is going to be the best defense in the league. And I'm really pumped up. We could stay healthy, so let's go. Now, that special teams we just talked about, I did add here, kick returners, punt returners, things like that. And I'm sure as we go, I will add other names that are getting reps. Whatever it is, we'll see who is kind of leaning toward being that actual starter and things like that. But anyways, that's the positional breakdown for the 2026 Philadelphia Eagles heading into training camp. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these positions. And as I mentioned, I will be live later tonight with notes from the first day of training camp. Well, the first day of practice that were there yesterday. You get what I'm saying. But we're going to talk about it all. I hope to see you then. I got to get rolling. Got to get to work. And then whenever I can get home, we will talk live later tonight, maybe around like 9 o'clock-ish, hopefully. So I hope to see you then. Maybe it'll be earlier. No clue how it's going to work. But if you need anything else before that, you can always reach out to me. Appreciate each and every one of you that took the time here. And look, I love each and every one of you. Cannot wait to see you live. I know it's been a while, but we back, baby. So hope you sickos are ready. Sicko season. It's about to be over, man. That countdown's going. We're at like 46, dude. Let's effing go. So all I've got for you. But if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share. Hype these videos up. Subscribe. The jewels. Whatever the hell these things are. I'm trying to keep up with it all. But any support you guys give, I really can't thank you enough. So thank you for that. The memberships things changed. I know it's only like a couple bucks to become a member now. So if you guys want to become members, you want to be a part of that stuff, happy to have you all. And whatever you can do and whatever you want to do, it's your life. I just love you sickos and want to see you. So whatever floats your boat, we'll be here. The goat. Okay, now just first thing that rhymed. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith. And this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now, sickos. Go Birds!